What's going on, guys? Kai here, back with another video. Today we're doing more Pokemon Adventures, the manga, and I already did part 1, which goes from the very beginning, where Red starts off, all the way until he gets his first badge from Brock. We're picking up now with the Misty arc. Let's get into it.
Even though everything seemed fine, there was a girl in the distance
Right
that
there.
was bleeding. She was getting brutally attacked by a Gyarados.
Just jump right into
The only Pokemon she had left was her Staryu, but it was on 1 HP because it just tanked a Hydro Pump. When she thought the battle was over, Red jumped into the mix and sent out his Bulbasaur to try to take care of the Gyarados. Gyarados tried to attack Bulbasaur, but it wasn't working because Bulbasaur had the type advantage. Then Bulbasaur wrapped Gyarados up with his Leech Seed, and the Staryu and Bulbasaur did a double team attack, knocking out the Gyarados, and Red was able to catch it. After the battle ended,
He's literally out here just catching everything. What is up with Red?
the girl told Red that Gyarados wasn't actually a wild Pokemon.
Wait, I thought you couldn't catch owned Pokemon. He caught her Pokemon. That's crazy.
Her Pokemon that was going berserk, but it got stolen a couple of weeks ago by an evil team organization, and it came back in this state. Red gets super mad about this since no Pokemon deserves to go through this, and he wants to make whoever did this pay. When they hit up Professor Oak to figure out what could have happened, he believes the group of people that did this were Team Rocket, since they're known for doing evil experiments on Pokemon.
Specialized
and they
in
may
crime.
actually encounter them in Mount Moon, the next place where they have to travel.
Stone that has the power to make Pokemon stronger. Also trying to find it.
With that information, Red is determined to go to Mount Moon and kick Team Rocket's ass. The girl tells Red that she wants to travel along with him, at least for this part of the journey, and her name is Misty. When they make it to the entrance of
so she's on... Okay, that's interesting. He meets her... So Ash meets Misty before even getting to the... Yeah, I think this is about the same area. After Brock, but before the tunnel. That makes sense.
the cave, they immediately see the Team Rocket members discussing that they need to get a moonstone for their experiment. Red and Misty sneak into the cave and bump into a Rhyhorn. Then they get jumped by a bunch of Team Rocket members. It was a trap. Red ends up challenging the trainer that owns the Rhyhorn to a battle. Red uses Pikachu for
That looks like Koga right there.
some reason, but Pikachu's putting in some crazy work, one-shotting the Rhyhorn. When they thought the battle was over and that they defeated Team Rocket, the man started laughing. Then he pulled out a syringe and injected some fluids into the...
How? Unless you're going into his eye or something, there's no way you're just syringing the back of a Rhydon.
Rhyhorn, evolving him into a Rhydon instantly. Red and Misty were shocked, but also pissed that Team Rocket was going this far with their experiments on Pokemon, and this is probably what happened to Misty's Gyarados.
Imagine them
before
catching...
they even had time to process...
Imagine them catching fresh Magikarp, inject Gyarados. On to the next one, inject Gyarados. Damn, that's a squad.
everything. Rhydon ended up using Horn Drill on Misty and
the
Red.
one shot.
Red was able to dodge the attack, but Misty took it head on, hitting the back of the cave wall, and her head started bleeding.
Pokemon Adventures is violent.
Completely knocked out. Red knew it was all up to him, and while Rhydon was closing in, Pikachu was able to get under Rhydon's feet and send him flying. Then Pikachu used his tail to slice a boulder on the top of the ceiling, dropping it on all the Team Rocket members and giving Red a chance to escape with Misty. When Misty woke up and was
Notice how all the Pokemon are just doing whatever they want? I haven't seen any trainer, Red, Blue, Brock, almost anyone, they're just like, get them. And they just do whatever they want.
talking to Red, she was pretty sad that they lost and they didn't get the Moonstone, but Red reveals that he actually managed to steal the Moonstone on his way out. Misty was so happy that Red clutched up. When they made it to Cerulean City, she invited Red over to stay at her place so that they can rest and talk over their plan to defeat Team Rocket. While they're eating dinner, Misty's trying to take it seriously and warn Red about the potential future threat, but Red is pretty cocky and isn't really scared of the grunts and feels like he can handle them whenever he wants. Misty tells Red to get over himself and to take things seriously, but Red does.
The maids and the... Man, Misty has money. In the anime, it was just her older sisters didn't want to really do anything, so they just wanted to give Ash the badge. Here, it makes it Misty comes from a house of money. I know James from Team Rocket has money, and that was actually shown in the anime. I did not know she has money, because like we saw Brock, and his dad was kind of a deadbeat, and he was effectively the parental figure, not making much money, and then here's Misty with all the money.
Doesn't really care, and Misty gets mad and storms off. Later that night, when Red is trying to sleep, he ends up getting attacked by some random wind force that destroys his entire bedroom and dips. In the morning, when Red is eating breakfast, he's thinking that somebody may be looking after him and he needs to keep his guard up, and he wants to go challenge the Cerulean City gym leader. Misty tells Red that she'll take Red to the gym. When they go inside the gym, they realize it's completely empty, until Misty reveals that she's the Cerulean City gym leader, and Red has to defeat Misty if he wants to get the gym
2 on her back.
Red thinks Misty's just trying to be funny and play some type of joke, and this pisses Misty off more. She tells Red that she's the one that attacked.
Not in the mood for a fight. Told you that was the one that attacked you last night. I knew it. That was pretty obvious.
Last night to prove that he's not that guy. This gets Red mad, and he sends out Bulbasaur to fight Misty. In the middle of their battle, Red is confused on why Misty is so mad, and Misty tells Red that she thought he knew how she felt about them being a team and how they're not strong enough to take on Team Rocket. If Red is struggling in this battle, they're going to get demolished in the big league. Misty starts crying and tells Red that they have to work together if they want to take down this organization, and Red finally understands what Misty was trying to tell her, and they stop the battle and decide to train together so that they can become strong enough to hold their own. A few days pass and they're done training, and Misty gives Red the gym badge, and Red decides
Mick. He got worked by that Starmie and just gave him the badge right there, the second badge right there. And I see now she has 3 Pokemon on her hip instead of the 2 before. I guess because he had 1 badge, she was only bringing 2 Pokeball, or, you know, the artist didn't do the 3, but she really just has her 3 base normally. That's pretty interesting. More credence to the idea that they challenge you based on the amount of badges you have. That would make a lot of sense. But this is Mickey. This is not a worthwhile badge.
To go off solo on his journey, but they're sure they'll meet again. When Red makes it to the next route, his main goal is to capture.
Alright guys, that was kind of short. Oh, it's still the Misty arc. Let's get that
as
through.
Many Pokemon as he can, and it's going pretty well, until he bumps into a Rattata that has a human-like head. Red thinks this is really weird, and
Bill?
the Rattata starts talking to Red, telling him that he used to be a human, he's just trapped inside a Pokemon's body.
That's weird, because it's unclear what Pokemon he's supposed to be at his thing, because they use the same sprite for a lot of different types, but that's pretty funny.
And tells Red that he needs his help, and his name is Bill. But then a Pharaoh swooped in and stole Bill. He was screaming, asking for Red's help, and Red sent out his Pokemon to try to take down Pharaoh. Poliwhirl and Pikachu sent out their attacks on Pharaoh, but Pharaoh used Bill as a meat shield, and he took most of the damage.
He actually told them
Pikachu locked.
He actually told them to use Ice Beam and Thunder Wave there. Finally.
This Pokemon jumped up in the sky, charging up its energy, and sent a full-blown thunder at the Pharaoh, knocking it onto the ground. Red thought the battle was completely over until the Pharaoh got up, and it was standing there menacingly, and it went in for its signature attack, Drill Peck, stabbing Poliwhirl in the stomach.
I mean, I guess he's a target, but damn.
Bill was completely shocked this happened. He thought they were cooked until the Poliwhirl started turning into ice and the Pharaoh got frozen completely. Poliwhirl had made.
What would you even say he did? It's not minimize. Poliwhirl uses Ice Clone. Double team? Okay. I don't even think he learns that. I knew which move was coming.
An ice clone of himself, and this is a part of Red's plan to win. After this, they ended up bringing Bill to his lab and transforming him back into a human. Bill was really happy that Red helped him out. He told Red that he's a Pokemon expert, and Red told Bill his goal is to become the greatest Pokemon trainer to have ever lived. Red continued on with his journey.
Okay, we're done with the Misty arc, But what I wanted to see was Bill talk about, because in the game, when you go to Bill's house and you read his PC, there's a bunch of information about Eevee and its evolutions, the 3 evolutions in the Gen 1. I would have liked to see him talk about them instead of a Rattata, even though that looked kind of cool. I would have liked to see him have been turned into an Eevee or something. Just something to show as a callback to the... obviously, this came out before the game. I would have liked to see something in here that shows that in the game as a callback to this. We're seeing a lot of similarities between Red and Ash, but enough differences where it really feels like its own story. But that's it. 2 badges in the book. A little side stuff with Bill. Let me know what you guys think down below. Till next time, guys.